welcome or welcome back to the Girl Talk Oracle podcast. I'm your host, Kiera. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how you can attract more positive things in your life in 2025. If that is something that you are interested in, make sure you continue watching this video. I know people say it often, but it's really, really true. The first thing to attract more positive things in your life is going to be your mindset. If you believe that you can, then you will. If you believe that you have, then you will have it. If you believe that you don't have it, then you won't have it. If you believe that you can't, then you won't. Okay, so the first thing is going to be your mindset. You want to have a very, I'm not saying, I actually am saying, be delusional, very much. Be delusional. I actually have a video on the channel like a year and a half to 2 years back talking about why being delusional is the win right now, and I still 100% believe that, because being delusional is one thing, and I'm not talking about being just, I'm not going to say stupid, I guess stupid, okay, but being delusional is just you believing that whatever it is that you want to accomplish, whatever it is that you want to attract is already yours. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with being delusional in that sense. Okay, I am 100% a delusional baddie. Okay, I am a Pisces rising, full of delusion, babe, full of fucking delusion. Okay, so when it comes to being delusional, I'm the ringleader. The first thing you want to make sure you do is to get in the mindset of believing that whatever it is that you want to achieve, you can, and whatever it is that you want, you have, even if it's not tangible. Just believe that you have it in the spiritual sense. Believe that it's in your vibration and you are a vibrational match to that thing that you want to attract. Okay, that is what it means to get in the mindset of it. If you are in the mindset of negative talk, negative belief, you're going to attract that energy. And it's, you know, the saying, it's always something. I say it a lot, and I'm training myself. I'm not perfect. I'm training myself to not say that often at all, if any. It's always something. If it's not one thing, it's another. Maybe let's change your mindset, especially if you say if it's not one thing, it's another. Start saying if it's not one thing, it's another when something good happens to you, and watch things change. Because if you say it when something bad happens, of course you're a vibrational match for whatever is happening to you, and you're like, oh, it's always something. You believe that it's always something, so it's going to always be something, if that makes sense. So the next thing is going to be loving yourself and being confident with who you are as a person, being confident with who you want to be, who you want to become. The key to loving yourself is already within you. Everything that you need to love yourself is within you. And sometimes you do have to go deep within yourself to figure out what little parts of yourself do you love that you felt like you hate because it was taught to you. There's things that you probably hate about yourself that you don't necessarily hate about yourself. You just think that you hate it about yourself because of what others project onto you or what others say and how others feel about you. For me, queen of examples here, I've always hated my nose because I was always told I have a big nose. Okay, and of course my nose is not small, but I just don't believe, like, now that I'm older and when I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, okay, it's big, but it's not like, it's not crazy. Like the kids used to tease me for that because I had my dad's nose. And now that my daughter has our nose, me and my dad's nose, it's like, I will never show her like, oh, we got big noses. No, I've just always tell her like, you have my nose. And I want her to feel confident and proud with her little cute little nose, because it's a programming, and sometimes it's not always your fault, but loving yourself starts within you. And especially if you're an adult, you're not going to always be able to use the excuse that what others said about you, what others did to you is the image that's shaping you today. Sometimes you got to reshape yourself. You got to remold yourself and remold yourself into a version of yourself that you love and you adore, because the conditioning that you were brought up in is not who you're meant to be. Especially if you were brought up in environments that weren't so loving, environments that were tough to be in, environments that, picked at you, talked about you, made you feel less than. You want to make sure you mold yourself into a version that you love to see when you wake up and look in the mirror, a version that you want to brag about. You want to be happy when you talk about yourself, instead of, especially when it comes to like receiving confidence. I said confidence, being confident in receiving compliments. You can always tell a person's confidence by how well they receive compliments. I can't even talk. And I was victim of that. Like when people would compliment me, I will always find a way like, oh girl, it's nothing. I just threw this on. Like, girl, take the compliment and accept it for what it is, you know? And that's what I mean by loving yourself and being confident with who you are. Because a lot of times you'll say, like somebody will call me beautiful and I'm like, oh girl, you know, and I try to like downplay it. Like, girl, no, you're beautiful. They called you beautiful. They see beauty in their eyes when they look at you. And just take the compliment, you know? So just learn to love yourself and be confident and stand firm in who you are, even if that means remolding a version of yourself that you love. So the next thing you want to do to attract more positive things in your life is to focus on your drive and your motivation. What is giving you the fuel and energy to push forward and move forward? You're not going to get positive things in your life if you're stuck and stagnant in one place. You have to be open to change. You have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be willing to push forward, even when obstacles come in your way, even when, you know, blocks in a road come. You have to figure out, how can I move around this block in the road? How can I overcome this obstacle? You have to get in the mindset and lock in and focus on your motivation. How can you remain motivated even in the toughest times? Like that is what's going to attract more positive. And a part of that is remaining optimistic, to be completely honest. And optimism is my specialty, even if it means delusional, okay? But you want to remain optimistic in those areas of your life. So when it comes to attracting positive things, and honestly, I'm not telling you to sit there and focus like positive, positive, positive. No, we're human. We're not robots. We're not gonna sit there and positive think all the time. But when you get in the mindset of focusing on what you can control and how you can overcome things that have happened to you versus focusing on why it went wrong in the first place, you'll notice that you attract more abundance in your life. You're like, oh, well, this happened to me, but right after this happened, I gained so much of this. Right after this happened, it's like what is that saying? A loss for a win, or like you lose something to gain something. You know what I mean? The the mindset that you need to be in. Another thing you want to focus on when attracting positive things in your life is having high standards. Girl, raise those standards to the fucking roof. You hear me? Especially when it comes to other people being in your life and other people giving you positive things. Do not downplay what somebody's going to do for you, because if they're going to do it, they're going to do it. And if they not, they won't. And you just need to make sure your standards are high. Honestly, set the standards for yourself higher than what you expect it to be. Raise the bar, okay? Because you'll be surprised. When you expect more, you get more. And when you expect less, you get even less. Okay? Because people aren't always the people can't read minds. Like if you say, oh, I just, want the bare minimum. I just want, I'm trying to think of an example. Y'all know I'm horrible. I can't even think of one. But it's like if you just like saying you want the bare minimum, they're going to give you the bare minimum, if not less, because you're so appreciative of the bare minimum. Like expect more and get more, and I'm not saying like be greedy with it or anything, but like let's say like relationships, for example, if you expect the guy to only spend quality time, then that's all they're going to do. They're going to spend quality time. But if you expect the guy to wine and dine and buy you flowers and, plan romantic dates for you, and he know that that is one of your values, he's going to do that because he know the standards that you have set for yourself. And that's just one example. But if you get what I'm throwing down, okay? Basically, the standards that you set for yourself is what is going to be reciprocated by the universe, by the people in your life, just in general. Last and final thing to receiving more positive things in your life is going to be to step into your more soft and feminine energy. You want to make sure you are allowing yourself to allow things to come to you. Don't be so forceful and controlling over what comes to you, trying to grab and cling on and hang on to things. Allow things to flow naturally. You'll notice that you attract more things that you need versus what you want. You'll also notice that people are pouring into you more when you just allow things to flow to you naturally. But that's what I have for today's episode. I hope you did enjoy it. I will clip a video on the screen on what it means to be in your soft girl era. I feel like you will love that video, especially if you want to attract more things in your life in the year 2025 or beyond, whenever you are watching this video. But that is what I have for today's episode. Make sure you check that video out, and I will catch you in that video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.